Greetings friends, and welcome to my shop. Today I want to talk to you about some changes I'm making to the channel. Look, if you hear about the snowblower video and you want to skip through this, I'll put a timestamp right down here. Just jump ahead and get right to that video. But the truth is I don't post as many woodworking videos as I'd like to. You know, and there's a bunch of reasons for that, mostly time. I'd like to embark on more woodworking projects whenever I can, but I've got other obligations, right? So I've got a full-time job and nothing to do with woodworking. And I've got family, family commitments, family responsibilities. And then there's other work around the house and yard, and there's all kind of projects I'm always working on. I enjoy very much working with power equipment and small engines, maintenance and repair. I do a lot of yard work. We've got about 2.5 acres here. A good chunk of it is wooded, so that's always taken some time and some work. I do plumbing, I do electrical, I do heating, I do appliances, you name it. If it's something worth fixing, I fix it. I've been that way all my life since I was a little kid. My dad taught me and my brother how to fix things. It was all about trying to do things yourself. He was in the military. He fought during World War II in the Army Air Corps as a mechanic. So he was keeping airplanes flying in the field, on those strips by the seat of his pants. So he was the kind of guy who could pretty much fix anything. And he instilled that in me and in my brother, and since I was a little kid I've been taking stuff apart and putting it back together and being curious about how things work. So, I want to add some of that content to this channel because otherwise it's too few and far between on the woodworking videos. And I toyed with a second channel idea. Maybe I should have 2 channels, keep one dedicated just to the woodworking and furniture making, make the other one just for kind of DIY repairs. But I didn't really want to, start another channel, maintain another channel, worry about all that stuff. So what I think I'm going to do moving forward is have this one channel with mixed content, and I hope you guys will enjoy that mixed content. Don't worry, there'll always be plenty of woodworking content, right? So that's not going to stop. But my thought is that most of us woodworkers, we're kind of tinkerers. We fix stuff. It's kind of who we are, right? We like to work with our hands, and most do-it-yourselfers who like to fix stuff, even if you're not a woodworker, it's probably something that would interest you. So I think the 2 layers of content are close enough together to each other that it just makes sense. If you're already a subscriber, I thank you. I thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please help me out and think about subscribing to this channel. I'll do my best to make it worth your effort. But at least, if not, at least give a thumbs up, share a comment. I very much appreciate the comments, and as you can probably see, I try to respond to as many as I can, time permitting. So let's move on. I hope you enjoy this first non-woodworking video on my channel. Thanks, guys. Hey, greetings viewers, and welcome. I'm here today to talk about the Honda HSS724 snowblower that I just acquired. Got it in mid-November. It's the end of January. We haven't had any snow yet, so I'm kind of itching to use it. Right? It's a double-edged sword. I want to use a snowblower, but I'm happy that we haven't had any meaningful snow yet. Let me start by telling you why I bought this particular machine. And I've had a great snowblower. It's still a great snowblower for almost 20 years, John Deere 924. But I have a 450-foot driveway on a pretty steep hill. And either the driveway is getting steeper or I'm getting older, but every year it seems harder and harder to push that 2-wheeler up the driveway, because you just don't get that much uphill traction on a traditional snowblower with 2 wheels. They're not bad on flats, and they're great machines, but if you're going to go on a slippery uphill, you've got to kind of push that thing. It's hitting and missing with the traction. So this particular unit is a track drive. So there are many times more contact with the pavement or with the ground than there are with a wheeled mower. I mean, if you think about a wheeled mower, you know, you're probably making a mark on the ground, you know, not much bigger than a cell phone under each tire, right? That's your traction. Here, you've got considerable track, and I'll get this off the tripod in a minute and give it a walk around and show you a little more detail. But you've got so much more surface contact with the ground for, you know, for pulling, especially going uphill. The other thing that I liked about it is the track snowblowers, well, at least this one, it doesn't climb. It stays flat to the ground, and that nose stays down. If you're familiar using a snowblower, you know that, you know, you hit any bit of resistance, and that front end wants to just climb up on you. This one will stay dead flat to the ground. Now, if you want to raise the nose, maybe you're coming up on a like a big lump where the plow plowed you in or something like that, you can raise the nose. It's separate from the tracks though. With a traditional snowblower, you're simply rolling back and pivoting on those wheels to go up and down, and that's good when you want to do that. But the problem is it tends to do that. With this, it'll stay flat until you hit this little thumb switch over here. Then you can leave the treads on the ground and just rock up the body of the unit to get that height. So that's the thing. Again, I haven't used it. I can't wait. I'll certainly do a review once I've got it out there. I like almost everything about it. It's got electric start, but you know, with a regular battery like a car, not the one with the cord. So you can start it and stop it. You know, 500 feet from the house, you're still able to start and stop the unit with the battery. You know, other than the track system, it kind of works like a regular snowblower. It's a two-stage snowblower with an auger and an impeller. One thing I'm not crazy about, I'll be honest with you, it has one of these joystick chute deflectors, so you can rotate the chute left, right, up, down, you know, with the joystick electronically, and that's cool, that's convenient, that's great. But there are motors and relays and cables and stuff that I just know at some point down the line, when that breaks, that's not going to be a fun or a cheap thing to fix. Other than that, I think I like everything about it so far. I'm in my wood shop here because I tend to work on my equipment in the wood shop during the winter. It's warm and it's bright. So let me get off that tripod over there, and I will give you a walk around. So the Honda HSS724A has a traditional two-stage system. It's got a auger in the front with a pretty heavy-duty auger transmission, and to the rear you've got your impeller. The impeller runs at very high speed. The auger slows down, brings the snow into that impeller, and then it gets thrown. One thing I like about this, it does have true ball bearings over on the impeller shaft as opposed to bushings. My former snowblower, and most of the snowblowers I've worked on, not a bunch, 4 or 5, for friends, neighbors, etc., tend to have bushings in there, and they get a lot of play on them, and even wear down and start wobbling and can cause trouble. I like the fact that there are actual ball bearings on that auger shaft. It has the same shear bolt concept as a traditional snowblower, except the shear bolts are over there next to the auger transmission, not midway down the shaft like on most models. I was talking earlier about the traction, and it is track drive. And what I did was I put, that's a piece of synthetic steel wool I had laying around. And it just approximates the ground contact area of a traditional snowblower tire. And of course I could be off by an inch or two. I'm just giving you an example. And you can compare that to the amount of traction that you're going to get from those tracks on either side. That's the biggest thing for me, is get that traction climbing that hill. Of course, it's got, you know, a headlight, like practically every snowblower comes with these days, LED in this case. Down in here, you can see the starter. That starter is works off of the battery, which is underneath that box. Generous metal gas tank. What else we got from here? And here you can see some of the controls. It's a hydrostatic drive, so it is not a friction wheel design like most snowblowers. And again, I don't know if that's good or bad, right? It's going to operate a hell of a lot better. It's probably going to be more trouble-free, but if it breaks, it's going to be, I don't know, $1,000 to fix it, as opposed to, you know, $100 in parts with a friction wheel. So, you know, it's kind of you know, technology heavy in that regard, and like I said, that is good and bad. So you have a hydrostatic shifter here that controls the speed, just like most modern lawnmowers with a hydrostatic transmission. Coming around this side, nothing too spectacular or different. Really, there's that fancy chute with the remote control, electric. Again, it scares me a little bit. You can see that cable running up there, just to handle the up and down of that deflector at the end of the chute. And I'm sure it's going to work forever. Yeah, that's it. It's going to work forever. And otherwise, just, you know, your traditional air filter carburetor is boxed in like most snowblowers to keep them warm. There's no air filter. I don't know what's under that wing nut, to be honest with you. And then of course there is a pull start in case you need that as well. Let me go around to the control section and give you a view of that. So not unlike most snowblowers, right? You've got a lever to move the machine and a lever to control the auger, right? And you can do both simultaneously with one hand, because the auger, like most blowers, will lock while you're engaged in drive until you say no more. Standard choke lever there to the left. This is the starting key right here. It starts like a car. Just start it up. You know, and then you've got your combination throttle and transmission. The further you move it forward, the more speed you take. The further you move it backwards, the more speed you go backwards. And then there's your electronic gizmo. The cool thing about this, and this wasn't true of early Honda track drives and many track drives, as I understand, you can see those levers underneath the handles that look like bicycle brakes. Those are skid steer levers, so you can use those to actually steer the tractor just like a little bobcat or something with two tracks, right? So you disengage the left track and the snowblower will turn left. You disengage the right track and the snowblower will turn right. You disengage both tracks, you can push this thing around pretty easily. You just have to tilt that nose up off the ground a little bit, get the skid shoes off the ground, and it actually moves pretty easily around. Not too bad. So that's the overview of the Honda, the new Honda. Like I said, when I get it up and running for the first snow, I'll be sure to get some film of that and do some reviews. Obviously, if you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'd be happy to address them. Oh, by the way, the engine on this is the Honda GX200. So it is one of the biggest things about it. It's got a Honda engine. So that is whenever I can get Honda or Kawasaki engines, I do. I recently got a zero turn, and there was an option for either the Briggs or the Kawasaki, and I went for the Kawasaki. I've worked on so many engines for so many years, and boy, the Hondas are amazing. The Kawasaki's are fantastic. Nothing wrong with Briggs and even most Kohlers, but it's a big step up when you go into a Honda or a Kawasaki. And just a little side note, some of these snowblowers are now coming, and all power equipment are coming with quote-unquote proprietary engines of Cub Cadet or whoever's Toro was ever making them, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're Honda clones or something else, but they're not branded by one of the major engine manufacturers, and I just see that as potential, parts problem down the road. What is this? What does it take? So I don't know. Maybe all the parts distributors will catalog another 30 different brands of engines, but we'll see what that looks like. I wouldn't trust them until quite a lot of time passed before I would go in and get something with an engine that was branded by the machine manufacturer. Well, except for Honda. There you go. Honda makes the snowblower, Honda makes the engine, but you get my point. Honda, Kawasaki, Briggs & Stratton, Kohler. These are known entities. They're things you can get parts for. Heck, even the Snow King on my older snowblower, they've been out of business, I guess, for 10 years now. I don't even know, around that. And there's still parts available, right? So, just a thought. Okay, well, we have to take a look under that wing nut. According to the shop manual, that's an air cleaner. And I never heard of an air cleaner on a snowblower. Oh boy. Ta-da! Okay, so what's that? What kind of clip type washer there. I don't think I want to take it all apart. Interesting. So traditional design of all snowblowers is that the carburetor is always shrouded like that to keep warmth from the engine. It's usually not far from the exhaust mufflers up here, so it keeps the carburetor from icing up and getting soaked. And then there's usually not an air cleaner, and the theory is that because of the environment you're working in, there's no dust in the air. There's no dust or dirt, so you don't really need an air cleaner. But Honda says this is an air cleaner. Let me take you over. I'll give you. I don't understand it. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand it. There's something under here that they call an air cleaner. It doesn't appear to have a filter, so I don't know what that is. But let's take a look and see what the book says. So you learn something new every day, I guess. This is the shop manual, and this is the wing nut we took off. Here's the cover. There's a little mounting plate here, and underneath that is an air cleaner. Don't know what that is or how that works. There's not a lot of information here, at least without me getting a little more deeply into it. But there's a couple of a comb plug for the unused breather port. Don't know what to make of it. Remove and install the air elbow cleaner with the fuel off. Before installation, clean the inside of the air cleaner elbow. Wow. If I recall from looking at it, there was another piece exposed here that I don't see, unless that's just a cover for this bolt. But so apparently Honda is the snowblower with an air filter. The first one I've ever encountered. Go figure. Go figure. Alright, so that's what it is. An air cleaner. How about that? Mystery solved. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm fixing to put an accessory on the snowblower, so hang loose, and we'll get to you shortly with another video on this snowblower about adding an hour meter to it that runs off the electrical system of the snowblower. So I'm going to get on that. I'm going to get that shot and posted. And if we ever get snow, I'll come back and I'll do a video of the tool in action, right? Here it is. It's February 8th, and we're in New Jersey, USA, and we haven't had more than a slight dusting of snow all winter. Good. I mean, I'm happy because Snow can be a pain in the butt and people can get hurt and roads can get treacherous, but you know, half of me's you know, itching to get this thing fired up and really running. So we'll get you that additional content as soon as I can. Thanks everybody.